Okay, I'm pretty sure we got the issue solved with the idling. I'll put a little thing on the screen here if this fixes it or not, because I haven't put it in yet. Right, you've seen the writing, that means it either worked or it didn't. So pretty much, to make a long story short, we've replaced a lot of things. The MAF, the camshaft sensor, we replaced a lot of vacuum hoses and such. We replaced the O2 sensor, the coil packs, distributor. We've done a lot of things here, but ultimately the car still runs like, yeah, it's idle's not very good. Okay, it sounds like it's cammed and it sounds wacky. Pretty sure this is the problem, because if you press on this while it's idling, it suddenly idles perfectly. So there's potentially a leak in that. My only concern is that looks like a fairly new part, and there's a new hose clamp on there, so potentially the previous owner had already tried that. But we're gonna install a new one and find out if it worked, because all signs point to that being the point of failure. Now, in terms of actually taking it off, I think it's this guy here, which is like a T50 or something. A little bit awkward, okay, getting it under there with this particular setup. So yeah, we're gonna probably take this off, see if we can get closer. So that's freed up the dipstick, meaning I can move it around a little bit. Hopefully I can fit my tool under. Did bend it, hopefully that doesn't cause any damage. It should be okay, but now we can fit the tool under. If you're doing this, I'm guessing you probably don't have a big thing like this big handle. But I will say, just be careful, because it's very easy to strip those bolts. I already ruined the one on here, but luckily I replaced it with another nut or bolt. Alright, that was pretty easy. I just cracked the nut and it's giving me no issue in removing. Be careful when you take it off, because if you drop it, you probably might not get that back. It might fall on the grass underneath your car if you're lucky. There we go, safe. Let's see if we can get the other side. It looks a little bit more awkward. Let's see. Okay, so pretty much that side is completely bullshit, hard to get to. In this particular situation, I'm gonna try and remove the bit from here. It would be good if I just had a T50 bit that I could put on my wrench, but you know, this is the circumstance we're given. Yeah, it's totally impossible to get this underneath. There just isn't enough space. So if you're watching this, get the correct bit for it. I think it's T50, and just put it on your ratchet, because if you try and squeeze this in, you'll probably ruin the pattern on it and break it. So we're going to Super G Auto now. We're buying the T50 Torx bit or a Allen key set that can fit underneath there, because that thing, I'm not willing to risk stripping it. Boys, it was $11.99 and will potentially save me stripping the bolt and never getting it out. It's a T30 bit, that's what we need. T30, $11.99. It fits. Don't take on this job if it doesn't fit, or else you'll strip it. So we're just gonna probably fit it underneath there, and it should be easy. That's the move, right? I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, I got it off, and I cannot stress this enough. Be so careful, because it almost stripped. Like, the actual thread on it was bending the thing. Maybe you can or cannot see, but I'm gonna replace these with 8 or 10 millimeter normal thingies. Because yeah, anyway, let's assess the situation. So there is a fair amount of oil that's seeping around that area, so that could lead you to believe that it is leaking, right? And yeah, this doesn't look too bad. There's like oil around there, so maybe this is or is not leaking. We really don't know until we put the new one in. It does build some concern about how fresh this looks, suggesting that someone has thought the same thing as me to replace it. And it is a genuine part, so if that didn't fix it, well, we're fucked, right? Okay, I had those lying around that were too long, so I am gonna reuse this. Let's hope that I don't get punished for that. We're gonna put the new part in, but first, I'm gonna clean that. I'm able to clean it super easily. MAF cleaner, just put a little bit on there to make it wet. And look at how it turned out, fresh. Gonna put the new one in. All right, it's all set up now. Yeah, looks pretty good. It's in there. I put the dipstick back. It's kind of bent. Let's hope it's not damaged. We start the car up now, and we hope that everything is good. Hard to tell when you're in neutral with these chassis mount shifters. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, that actually sounds normal, but as we learned in the last video, it's not till it's warm when we see the problem, so let's wait. Okay, I've driven it around. It's pretty much warm now. Check out the idle. Yo, this is a voiceover. So the idle's fixed, it's not lumpy anymore. If you're seeing it's fluctuating up and down, it's because my ICV, or ICV, whatever you call it, is actually stuck. It's fucked pretty much. I bought the eBay one for $25 to replace it, and that arrived faulty, so I need to get one that's pretty good. Anyway, here's the idle sounding proper. How good's that? So the idle is a little bit higher than it previously was because the ICV is stuck. I'm going to save you 3 minutes of me talking about why is it slightly higher idle. It's slightly high because the ICV is fucked. But yeah, the actual lumpiness is completely gone. It was that PCV thing, and maybe it had a crack. Maybe the seal was broken on it. Anyway, I bought the $50 one off eBay. 50 AUD, that is, they're cheap. Just buy that. It fixed it. Woo! Okay, that's the end of the video. The PCV thing fixed the lumpy idle. So if you got that problem and you've gone down the same sort of rabbit hole as me trying to fix shit up, definitely get that. Probably start with that instead of buying all the expensive parts first like I did. The reason why I bought all those first is because I already had check engine lights for O2 sensor, camshaft sensor, and whatever. So the PCV thing, so cheap to replace, just replace it. It is possible that I have some other vacuum leak somewhere. That wouldn't be uncommon for this motor. However, after filming the video, I removed my stock ICV, which is actually noisy and sounds damaged, and cleaned it. And it made the RPM be at 900 on idle, which obviously that's better than 1100, but randomly it'll just like tick over to 1100. And it's not doing that in a fashion like a vacuum leak does. It's just kind of like a clock. So we got to replace that with a better quality part. I don't know if I mentioned before, I bought the eBay one for $30 and the part was faulty out of the box. Maybe another eBay one would fix it and that one just arrived dud, but I'm going to ask other people what they recommend because the OEM one is $300. I'm not doing that. But yeah, go replace your PCV thing and you should be in for a good time because it's mint now.